G'day everyone, Ian Fegan here, also known as Professor Shoelace. Today's video is about double back lacing, which is where the laces run from near the top of the shoe to the bottom and then double back up again. Weird, right? Well, let me show you first and then I'll explain why later. This is how it looks on my Ian Shoelace site, which if I scroll up to the diagram and animate it for you, you can see it starts near the top, goes through every second eyelet on the way down, and then through every other eyelet on the way back up. Now let's look at that on a real shoe. This is one of Inga's shiny new shoes, and we'll begin by running the lace straight across through the second eyelet from the top and in through those eyelets. Now we cross the laces and we go down 2 eyelets and feed them in through the second eyelets down, which is actually the, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4th eyelet from the top of the shoe. Same on the other side, we feed it in to the 4th eyelet. Now again we cross the laces and feed it in through the 6th eyelet from the top, which is again down 2 eyelets, skipping 1. Now this pretty short shoe we've already hit the bottom, so it's time to double back and go back up. Now I'll stay on the same side and I'll run it up the inside and out through the next higher eyelet. Same over here. I can see the hole. There we go. Now going up the shoe, we feed under the side and out through the eyelets. So on the way down we were feeding in through the eyelets, and on the way up we're feeding under and out through the eyelets. And you end up with these nice sort of overlapping fingers of shoelace. Here I'm feeding under this horizontal bit and out through the top eyelets. Again, under the horizontal and out through the top. Now at the top of the shoe, you can tie your favourite shoelace knot. I'm using my Ian knot, the world's fastest shoelace knot. And that's the finished double back lacing. Now on a shoe where you actually want to use up a little bit more lace, instead of running straight up the inside as I did there, you can run a crossover on the inside, and it's a little bit more visible, but it saves, makes up a bit more lace. Now the tricky thing with double back lacing is the tightening. Now here's a fairly high sneaker so I can demonstrate it more fully. You actually start near the top of the shoe and you go down 2 eyelets and pull tight there. Again, down 2 eyelets, pull tight. Down 2 and pull tight. When you've hit the bottom, you go up 1 and pull tight, up 2, pull tight, up 2, pull tight, up to the top and pull tight. And that's actually the main reason for double back lacing. It actually holds the lacing very tightly near the top, because in order to loosen, it has to loosen all the way down the shoe and all the way back up again. So that's it, that's double back lacing. As always, you can find out more information, animations, diagrams and instructions on my Ian Shoelace site.